Welcome and good afternoon, or whatever time of day this might be, to Herkimer Central School District's Instructional Technology Support. And today we're talking about brainingcamp, the math program for hard to understand concepts and bringing a visualization to students. We're going to start out today. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about getting into brainingcamp as well as other programs that the school pays for. I will show you where all the access codes and stuff for that is if you're not aware to it so far. I will show you some of the finding the tutorials, which is very important when you're talking about brainingcamp, because I myself haven't had a chance to go through all the different things that are on that. You'll see that there's quite a few different visualizations that they offer and where to find help with those visualizations. We'll talk about some of the visualizations. We'll show some examples, with students and some other example things that you can do with brainingcamp. So to get into this and some of the other programs that the school actually pays for and you have rights to, you may not know about them. We're going to go right to the Herkimer Central School District webpage, and we're going to click on the staff resources. And under staff resources, we are going to connect with the technology resources. Now, this technology resources page is actually protected for people with a Herkimer CSD website or email address. So we put passwords up for people, so you don't have to worry about somebody else getting on or somebody else stealing it, because we put this in. So right here on this tab up here, softwares and subscriptions, we're going to go ahead and click on that. And we've been creating and curating a list of all software subscriptions, as well as how to get into those software and subscriptions, and over here on the sides, resources for doing that. And you can see right here, to get into it, you're going to go to brainingcamp.com. You're going to click redeem code, and then there's the code that you're going to enter in. You can just do a copy paste if you want to do that. And anytime you can also go, there's the login here, the tutorials, supports, and as well as training webinar, some all things that I'm going to be showing you today. So I'm going to go ahead and straight to brainingcamp login. And if this is the first time that you're ever there, you're going to want to follow the steps that we just discussed to redeem the code and get yourself access to that program. Again, this is designed for math concepts. They market it, I believe, to 6th through 8th grade, but any grade, I feel there's any grade can benefit from some of the visualizations that they have here. So here you can see are all some of the different visualizations that you might possibly could use or that they offer. And there's that redeem code for you. So let's, we can take a look through these, and if you click and clack here and there, you can try to find things out. But really great resources. They give you tutorials on how to use all of these different visualizations. So here we have a digital manipulative that you can snap pieces together to show whatever you're doing. They walk you right through it. From right here, you can also go to a fraction circles. So if I remember, like back in the day when we were talking about pizza slices and what made up wholes, these things snap together and help work with fractions. We have clocks. So if we have different, we're on deal things with clocks, that we can always do that. Base 10 blocks, so on and so forth. But it really is a quick way to see what they offer for visualizations and how they work. Next to the tutorials is also the ideas. So ideas, they give you and show you how you can do different ideas, such as multiply a whole number by a fraction, adding fractions, slope-intercept form, divisions with unit fractions, common multiples, multiple fraction by a whole number, 5 ways to multiply, addition as a count and measure. So they give you some ideas that you might be able to use, or perhaps give you a little kickstart when you're figuring things out, as estimating area, missing numbers, so on and so forth. So those are two really great tools to always go back to, is ideas and tutorials. That gives you a quick and fast way of seeing how to use this stuff. They also offer webinars. So if we click on the webinars link, this is a little bit more in depth. So if you have more time to spend, they will go into a little bit more in depth on how to use some of these things and how specifically they use them. And the webinars are kind of offer full lesson plans for students. They're quick videos, anywhere between 5 minutes, and some are are kind of lengthy, but some are quick, some are shorter. Usually if they get pretty long, they split them up. But these are a little bit more in-depth uses of the programs and some of the visualizations that they offer. So if you have the time or you're looking for a lesson plan on something specific, you can always go to these webinars and check out those resources that they have there as well. So if we get right into it, just the manipulatives. Let's say one of the things I was working with was the number board, which is base 10 blocks. Yeah. Where's my number? Oh, 100 board. There it is. So this is a 100 board. This is a neat little one that you can start wherever you want. So let's say we're starting at 1 and we want the kids to count by ones, and I click 1, it goes up by 1. Then if I get to 10 and I want to count by tens, it now drops down and it'll let me count by tens. If I want to subtract 1, it'll do that, subtract 10 as well. And one thing I thought would be really kind of neat for this would be if you were to create a little maze giving them instructions, you know, let's see if I can clear this. Clear all. If we were to, start at a number, let's say, for real young kids, like let's start at number 1. Count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What number are you at? Now count 20. 10, 20. Subtract 3. And it could almost be like a scavenger hunt, or you could draw the map using this numbers. You can also go to decimals of 0.01. So a lot of times, especially in earth science, I had kids that have a hard time understanding if 0.03 was bigger than 0.3 or which number was bigger. And you can use this as a point to be like, okay, well, here is, if 0 is here and 0.3 is there and 0.03, excuse me, is there and 0.3 is there, what's the bigger number? And that, in a way, can help them visualize that as well. You can change colors. Clear. You can switch to, if I go to 120s, it goes to 100, it drops down even more. Go back to ones, you can see it goes up to 120, it makes it a little bit bigger of a board. I can change colors, so if I want to plot out certain numbers, I can do that. You could also be kids can be playing bingo in a certain sort of way like that. And you notice there's also a tutorial right here, so you can always go back and go through that. Algebra tiles are fun for a little bit of the older kids. And again, if we want to check out the tutorial on that, it'll show you, you can drag down your numbers, and then your other stuff will connect to it, showing you that you got 1x or 1x, 2x. And if you notice down here, it is 3x minus 2x plus 1. And just by dragging and dropping, it'll show how you simplify that. Down here, you've got mats between basic. So now we've got, we've got the files here. We've got 3x times 1 or whatever it's going to be. And then you can drop and browse and connect and so on and so forth. But a really fun way to show some algebraic equations using the mats that they have there. So here's factors, x plus 1. This is the one thing I understand, like, if we're rotating to do it up, we've got now, we're building out certain functions, and it's, as you see, as you build and snap the tiles, it actually builds an x squared plus 3x plus 2, and that helps factoring, I suppose. If I had a little bit more time and more memory of my math skills, I'd be able to speak better to what that is. But that's a great tool for algebraic equations. Younger kids, you've got some things as the clock when you're trying to understand time. If it's 3 o'clock and we're going to add 3 minutes, what is that going to look like? That means the clock goes there. You can talk about how the big hand moves just a little bit. If we got 3 o'clock and we're going to 3:15, how much time has gone by? How much time is that? And the visualizations are really good because You know, we can say, okay, hey, here's 30 minutes. That's a half an hour. So if it's 3:17, what's a half hour later? And I can rotate that around and go, okay, there it is. I can swing over here. Oh, okay, it's going to be 3:47 is a half hour later. So that, you know, depending on what grade you're using, it's really great for that. They also have teaching ideas down here. So if you unfortunately, it doesn't bring you right to the app and have teaching ideas. It just takes you to all of their ideas. But it just is a quick way to go around. But if I want to find things for the clock, I can click on the clock. I can click on the color tiles, and I'll show you what you can use for color tiles. I'm surprised they don't have anything for the clock. If I want an XY coordinate board, 100 board, it shows you how you can find missing numbers, skip counting, counting on back, stuff like that. So there's some really great accounts for stuff like this. And most of the time when you're doing something like this, this is your account. So it's the students don't have access to this. This is going to be something you're going to do in front of the students. You're going to be doing with them kind of in front of a board, or if you do things with your class and you can break up, you can take some smaller groups and work on pattern boards with them. Rotate, there you go. So when you get to the really young kids, asking them, fill out the pattern, what shapes you need? Well, I need that shape. That shape's got to go there. So there's a lot of visual kinesthetic tactile learning going on when you're able to actually manipulate these things in front of the kids and with the kids. And it's really great to have you do this, because this way you can show them what is going on. So you can make sure they have the mastery of what's going on, instead of just sending them loose to play around and not really have any going on. Sharing is a new feature. If you create an image or something, you can copy it. You can link or code you can link or code it. So if I want to send it to somebody, I can send them that, and they would get an option of having that. So if you wanted to create something and send it to a student one-on-one for them to work with, you can do that and share. They're able to see it. Or if you just want to copy your image and bring it to do a lesson, or if you want to download the image and add it to something that you're doing, where maybe you're working on a Google form or something, and you want to have that image, you can do that. Again, a really great one is if you're doing the clock with younger kids and you want them to know what a time is, I can come here, I can download that image, and now if I'm doing a Google form or something and I want to use that as a test question, I have that image that I can pop in there. What time does this clock say? Because I know sometimes it gets difficult if you're looking for a clock image to find the specific time that you're looking for. You can also, I believe, switch it to a 24-hour clock. You can get rid of the 60 minutes. You can get rid of the hour hand. You can get rid of the minute hand. Thought you could turn it into a military clock here somewhere. I thought you could turn it into a 24-hour clock. Oh, but anyway, so those are a lot of the different visualizations that are out there. Like I said, I only got a chance to play with a few of them. I got to play with number lines. That was kind of fun because you can change. Again, even at my high school level, sometimes kids, when they were doing ISO lines, would have a hard time understanding what each one of these lines meant in between. And I can come through and change the number of ticks in between and be like, okay, what does each line represent here? How about you here? How about here? And so, okay, that's 50. That must be 55. That must be 60. Now what are these? Okay, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So it means that's 50, that's 52, 54, 56. And that was something that my kids always seemed to have difficulty understanding when they were trying to do contour lines, is figuring out what each line represented each between. And here would be a really easy way to be like, oh, okay, hey, that line's 22, that line's 24. If we go 10 more than 48, that would give us 58, stuff like that. So it's really fun, silly things like that. You can create number skips and change what numbers in there. So if we wanted to go show them skipping 10, if we wanted to toggle that label, on or off, we can do that. If we want to set the value to showing skipping by twos, I can do that. It shows that visualization of what skipping by 2 looks like, and then change my ticks and be like, oh, look, there's a 2 if the lines are only there. Just really great way to show things in a different way for kids, help them visualize things, help them see things. And there's a lot of things on here. Do we want to hide the numbers? Do we want to kind of expand or change our look? All sorts of fun stuff out there for Braining Camp. Give it a shot. Check it out. There's a lot of different things on here that are, if I have all these 10s on here, I can actually bunch them together and they become hundreds. We can actually use our drawing tool to draw things, say put 30 blocks in here. There's a nice, I want that, make that basket equal 30. And then we can say, okay, I got to put 30 in my basket. So I don't know, those are some things that I thought of when I was looking at them. Hopefully, if you're looking at these, you can come up with some other ideas and some other examples and have fun with that. Like I said, it's something that's available to you, and hopefully it'll help your students out.